Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 54 of Direwolf20's Let's Play of ATM10 to the Skies. Today's plan, I think I figured out how I'm supposed to do this. I think the heat exchanger is an important part of this setup. I think that you don't want to do this without a heat exchanger. I think. But we're going to find out together, because I don't know, and I'm just learning how this all works. So the plan is thus. I'm going to build a heat exchanger. I prepped all the components between episodes so that I'd be ready to go. And I think you just go up here, right? And then you're just also down the middle. The heat. Okay, cool. And then frost on one side and heat on the other. Nobody wants that at this point. No. I have to figure out the hotkey for disabling that. So now you're a heat exchanger? Yay! Heat exchanger, good to go. And then the deal is that we're going to get this recipe. And this will take 2,000 millibuckets of steam, high pressure, plus water to make high pressure water and 16 buckets of steam. Okay, so remember, high pressure steam gives you 8 times the power, right? That should be cool. But I think if my math is right, it means that, like, we're going to get the exact same amount of power, but we'll get back our high pressure water. Right? I think. I guess the question is, how much high pressure steam do we get per high pressure water? That I don't know. I'm hoping it's like a closed loop type of deal, but we'll find out. So for this, remember, we need 2,000 buckets of that and 1,000 buckets of that. So let's do, I think our fluid input hatches go here or here. Okay, so let's do fluid input and then fluid that, right? So then you'll input, right? And then we're going to want, now fluid outputs, we need 125 and 16. So those are going to have to be advanced fluid output hatches, right? So advanced fluid output hatch is missing battery alloy plate. Are we broken on antimony again? Killing me, Smalls. I thought I solved this again, and I totally didn't. See how I added a pause now? So, like, it's a second? We'll see how that works out. We'll see how that works out. I don't know. Advanced fluid output hatch. Do we got any battery alloy going? We're going to have to probably be patient-ish. I don't know where it's all going to, but we'll find out in a minute, right? Because in theory, we should be getting some antimony now. Might wait until... we got one. I don't know where it's all going, but I might have to be patient for a minute. Well, I guess I can at least start building it. So where does the output go? Advanced fluid output hatch will be here. Advanced fluid output hatch can go here. I wonder if I could put, like, a bronze fluid output hatch here, and it would know, like, to put the heavy water in here. Because in theory, what this should do now is output heavy water. And hopefully... maybe I can do this. So, like, now you know you're supposed to be heavy water. And then if I lock you, you should know that you're going to be steam. Is that cool? I feel like that could be cool. And then you also, I think, need energy. So those can either be one of these two. I guess I'll put them here. Okay. So your energy. Okay. And then you are going to be input. And then you're going to be input, right? Somewhere around here. Bronze, fluid, input, hatch. So you're going to be like that, right? And then if I let you run again, because I turned this off so we could build up some water, right? So now you're going to get this. You're going to be allowed to run again. You're going to start producing steam, and then you'll back stuff your steam into here. So we're getting high pressure steam. You're going to be cool, and everybody's going to be good, right? I hope. Okay. So then you need water to go in here. Like regular water, right? Do we have water at this level? I don't think so, but we could get it. We could get it. Boy, are we gonna dire wire this thing. Boom. Oh, cool, look, he's doing it. He's doing it. And look, he gets like really high on efficiency. So check this out. And he's outputting high pressure water. Cool. And then he loops back to here. Okay. And then what we're going to want to do is make this a high priority for the output, right? So this guy prioritizes his output into here. And that should be cool, right? And now if we look, we're going to get steam. So high pressure water we're dealing with. Water's coming in, no problem. High pressure steam's coming in, no problem. Steam outputs. And we've got that. And then he should go to there. Right? So I need more pipes. Okay. And then you should be outputting regular steam, not high pressure, but that's okay, right? Because we're getting 16 times the amount. So, like, yes, we're not getting 8x. Well, we're getting 8x the amount, but we're not getting 8x the. But it'll work, right? So now you should be getting steam. And we should be cool. Let me give that a minute to build up, and we'll be right back. All right, so we're up to a decent amount here. So what are we choking on? Not enough. So you actually have enough water going in, so that's kind of cool. Are you producing enough steam? Ironically, no. Interesting. Okay. But you've got... So, like, you're close to enough? Like, you're producing... Okay. So, we're close. We're just barely short of enough steam right now. But the key is that you're running... What's your deal? Yeah, you're definitely running fast enough. So you're burning through my steam very quickly. I think we're cool. Can't quite tell. Maybe? What do we think about this? Is this working? I think this solves our high pressure water problem. Because as you can see, we're like breaking even on high pressure water. So basically, this, like, I could technically break this line. And I think we'd be fine. Right? Because your priority was high. So, like, we have a closed loop of high-pressure water now going into this dude. and he's always got enough high-pressure water. He's got enough coal geore. You're running nice and good. And you're not quite making enough high-pressure steam for this thing to run full time, but, like, good enough for now. But that actually makes it so my turbine can run, right? Because what we're doing is instead of using 2 buckets of high-pressure steam to get 16 buckets worth of power, we're making 16 buckets of steam to get 16 buckets worth of power. So there's the exact same amount of power, just as steam instead of high-pressure steam, which is fine because this creates a closed loop of high-pressure water, which means we don't need to, like, have 30 of these. Because remember, I, like, 16x multiplied it, and we weren't producing enough high-pressure water. Now we have a closed loop of high-pressure water. We're good, right? So, like, this is clearly the way it's supposed to work, quote-unquote. And I'm cool with that. Right? And then when we get to the next tier, we should be cool. So, I'm going to call this working and done. All right. So, with that said, let's look at all our stuffs. So, to get to the next thing... you need an implosion compressor to go that way. Do we? I don't think so. So we should be able to make turbo machine holes at this point. According to the quest book. I think that's right. Turbo machine hole? Yes. Seems pretty craftable. Cool. Quest complete. Boom. Look at all the things. Loot rewards and whatnot. Hooray! Okay. So we can get 4x turbo upgrades, which is cool. So we can get, like, more turbo upgrades. We can get the processing array, right? We can get the implosion chamber. We can get the heat exchanger, which kind of already did. I'll, like, break that apart or make more of them in a bit to make sure I get the rewards. So now what we're going to want is to make the distillation tower, I think. That's, I think, our next major task here. So let's get a distillation tower and see what's involved in that. I should be able to pull this off. I'm just going to try doing it like this. And then for our distillation tower, we need 2 distilleries. Right? It's cool. Sweet. And then you are going to need possibly many stainless steel. I remember this one. The higher we make it, the more recipe things it can do, right? So, like ultimately it could be this. So, like, I guess the highest one would be 72 and 8. What are the chances I can get 72 of those? How much are we going to need? Well, I mean, yeah. But what we could do is, like, maybe get halfway there, 32, maybe even 40, and then we can just build it up as time goes on. 40's close. Only take me a minute to get a few more of those things, right? Oh, look, we even have, like, that many, so I can only need 5 more. Yay? Okay. And then are we going to want to change this up, or are we just going to build our distillation tower in addition to this setup? Because this setup is currently making sulfuric light fuel. I don't see any reason to stop this, right? Like, this is working so well, why reinvent the wheel? Let's instead just build our distillation tower right here, and call that a day. Is that fair? I'm gonna say it's fair. Cool. And then I assume that you know, I do that, and then I can do like that. Right? And now you should be a valid shape. Cool. For height 3. And then if I do height 4, right? And that's cool. Okay. And then we can have our fluid output and our fluid input hatches, right? Inputs go in the bottom and outputs just kind of go along the up, right? And then what we should be able to do is specify which fluid is coming out, right? And that's going to be the distillation tower. Ultimately, I want to get to this point, right? So I already did 40, so I really want 32 more. Close, right? So how about 16 more? Not quite, but not far, actually. I can get 2 more taller. So let's wait a few minutes. I'll come back after I get 16 more after this. Because ultimately, I really want to have the, right, the dude. I want to have the max size. Like, it's not going to be hard for me to get that. So let's just do it, right? Cool. Thought I only needed 16 more. Maybe I need... Because I did 40, and then I did 16, so that should be 56. Oh, 80 is the old... Okay, yeah. So definitely need a few more. I'll be back. All right, 24 more. Tick accelerating for the win. Is that it? Maxed out? Nice. Valid. Cool. So then fluid input hatch. And I'm assuming we can do HV energy input, right? But bronze fluid input hatch. Bronze fluid output hatch. And we're going to need like 10 of those-ish. Cool. So you're going to be... I'm hoping that you can auto output. And then we'll put the input here. And then we can run our oil pipes. Like that. Do you even need power? I don't know. I assume you need power, right? Well, you accept HV energy input, so I'm going to say yes. Energy, yes. Do we have HV in this direction-ish? Not really, but I can get it. All the dire wiring. Cows are very upset at my dire wiring. Me? Kind of like it. Power? Yay. Is that cool? And then, presumably, with you set, we should now be getting all the things. You're set to height 9, so why am I only getting... Okay, there we go. I'm assuming at some point you'll start making the other fluids? Oh, no, hold on. Crude oil, shale oil. We want steam cracked naphtha, not oil in here, right? Do we have steam cracked naphtha? Sulfuric light fuel, sulfuric light fuel, steam cracked light fuel. But we need steam cracked naphtha, right? Because if we really want to get all the things, let's just check what our things are. So that's that, right? Butadiene and benzene, butadiene and benzene, butadiene and benzene, methane and light fuel, methane. So if we want all the things, we should steam crack to naphtha this, right? So that's what we need. So that should be a chemical reactor of naphtha and steam. And naphtha, we can just get chemical reactor of sulfuric naphtha and hydrogen. And sulfuric naphtha we can just get from distilling our oil, right? So basically we want this same setup, but like mirrored behind almost. Right? So you should be empty, nothing in you anywhere. I also got rid of all the oil. Perfect. So then we just mirror this setup. Right? So we're going to want a distillery to make crude oil into sulfuric naphtha. And then we combine that with hydrogen to get naphtha in a chemical reactor. Right? Do I want this just like here-ish? I think I want to give myself a little breathing room. So let's make sure that your machine holes are set up correctly. Right? Am I right with this? I think so. And yeah. I guess you don't need a machine hole to be MB'd. Or you do. Did I get the wrong hole? I did. I got a basic machine hole. Dyer, please. Advanced machine holes, please. There we go. Cool. And then you're going to do lock the recipe sulfuric naphtha so that when I pipe my fluid into you, you should be making sulfuric naphtha. Cool. Okay, perfect. Now, similarly, we want to combine that with hydrogen in a chemical reactor, and we'll get sulfuric acid and naphtha. Okay? I think I need 2 of these, by the way, so might as well. So you're going to auto output, and you're going to be locking it in of this recipe, right? So now you need hydrogen coming in on blue pipes. Maybe one more batch of those. Okay. And then you're going to need a hull so that you can accept cable. Cool. Now you're sulfuric acid, and if I'm not mistaken, you're voiding excess, right? Yes. So let's have you extract sulfuric acid only. Right? So you're already sulfuric acid, so that's actually kind of cool. So you're a red fluid pipe? So you should now be outputting sulfuric acid, right? So you've got hydrogen, you've got sulfuric naphtha. How much of that? You need 12 buckets worth. So you should speed it up. Cool. And now you're making your naphtha. That's cool. And then you're going to output your sulfuric acid, right? Sweet. And he kept his naphtha. Awesome. Okay. So then we need steam to make naphtha. And that's another chemical reactor. So chemical reactor. And your recipe will be naphtha, which is sulfuric naphtha. Wait, what? You were naphtha. So you need steam cracked naphtha. That's you. Okay. Alright, so let's get this guy powered up. Cool. So you need to get your naphtha coming in. Okay. And then you need steam coming in. Do we have steam here? We do, and it is on the red piping. Cool. Nice. And then you'll make steam cracked naphtha, which should then just go straight to there, which should start cooking and get me a ton of fluids, and that'll be neat, right? Oh yeah! Now we're cooking! How cool is that? Alright, I'm gonna wrap up here. One thing I want to check though before I do, can I just like attach a functional storage drawer right here, and can I get you to auto output? Because that would be awesome. Please, just auto output for me. That would be so cool. You would just do the auto output. Yes, you do it. Awesome. All right, so then all of you guys get auto outputted. Okay. And then all of you guys get a big amount of storage and a big amount of voiding. Okay? And the reason for this is I assume some of these things will use more than others. Okay? So we literally just have to do 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2. Not that that thing's actually being used, but... And then void upgrade everything. Okay. And then lock and load everything, right? Lock, lock, lock. All the way up to the top. And then link. And then if we check, we should have methane. And all the other fluids are kind of worming their way in here, right? How cool is that? Like acetine and ethylene and all the things, and we'll build up to 4,000 buckets of each one of them before we start voiding them. Is that cool? I think it's cool. For now, Adult 20 sign off. Hope you enjoyed the episode. We'll come back next time and do something with this stuff. For now, take it easy.